Hey everybody, Tom Barnes Stories from the 78 from the intersection of Dearborn in Chicago. I'm outside of the Lawson House at 30 West Chicago Avenue. You might ask yourself, why am I out here? Well, it is Open House Chicago this weekend, and I'm going to talk to Adam from the Chicago Architectural Center about why this is on that said tour, or part of the open house, if you will, this weekend. That is the story from the 78 here in River North, just shy of like Gold Coast, downtown, all the fun things, but right outside the Lawson House. All right, so you're taking a look at the Florentine Room here from a generation of Chicagoans known as the YMCA building, but it is called something else here on Dearborn in Chicago, part of Open House Chicago. I'm here with my friend Adam of Open House. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm great. Super Bowl weekend for the Architectural Center, yeah?
Pretty much. It's the weekend that folks who do things at the Chicago Architecture Center and all of our friends really look forward to the most.
Yeah, and you get to walk through and experience some of these buildings that otherwise you might not ever get a chance to. And specifically, this building has gone through a transformation over the last year or so, right? And
yeah,
why it's super cool to be able to be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a building that is just coming up on 100 years old. This is a 1931 building, so built right at the very, very beginning of the Great Depression, when they still had funding to complete a building like this. And it existed for a long time as a headquarters for the YMCA, as well as a single room occupancy hotel, or an SRO. Today it is affordable housing units. The old single rooms that men used to occupy are now turned into efficiency apartments with their own bathrooms and kitchens. It houses about 400 people in here today.
My goodness, and the outside is just stunningly beautiful. It's got that Art Deco-y vibe going on for sure, right?
Yeah, so this is a building as the headquarters for the YMCA. The company would have wanted to kind of show off, how well it's doing. So you're dealing with a building here that is, kind of has that upward thrust of a Art Deco building, kind of really beautiful brick on the outside, kind of that layer cake kind of style towards the top. Mm-hmm. And then on the inside, you have a number of theme rooms, particularly here on the administrative floor where we are right now.
Right, and we are in the Florentine Room here on, I don't even know what floor we're on. Do you know what floor we're on?
Third floor.
Third floor, mm-hmm. But this is kind of what it looked like back in its day, right?
Yeah, so again, you would have had men who are living upstairs in the units, but you would have had the kind of the administration going on this floor. So you have a boardroom, you have the president of the YMCA's office would have been over here. In fact, Lawson House is named for the president of the Illinois chapter of the YMCA. That's why it has its name that it does today.
Right, and this is predating computers and everything else. That's why you have this old school.
Yeah, let's look at this.
Chalkboard. Look at that. When's the last time you've seen a chalkboard in a boardroom?
It's been a while, yeah. And
I don't think I ever have.
It hasn't been turned over to whiteboard or anything, more technologically advanced. But yeah, this is what you would have done if you were having a board meeting back in the day. You would have opened this up and been able to take notes.
Yeah, and you have this, it's just such a beautiful space. They spent about, a couple years renovating this space to get it to where it is today.
Yeah, it takes some time to do a project like this, especially on this scale.
Sure.
So the developer is Jackie Holston of Holston Human Capital Properties, working with the architect Doug Farr and Associates. Doug has done some great work with the Chicago Architecture Center before. He's an architect who is really centered around being environmentally responsible, green technology, and really there's no building that is greener than one that's already standing. And so being able to rehabilitate a large building like this rather than building something brand new is kind of key to making sure that we create a sustainable future in Chicago. So this is a really excellent example of what we call adaptive reuse in the project.
And we got to see some other cool spots in this building.
Yeah.
A log cabin room. I mean, that something probably you don't get to see anymore.
Sure, and you have to think about it. This is a YMCA building, right? So many of us may have had experiences going to a YMCA summer camp at some point. Summer camps kind of look a certain way in the United States, so what better than a log cabin room to be able to kind of recall that branch of the organization.
Right, and then we found this really almost opulent room that screams 1920s modernism, which now is like what, vintage classic? I mean, I don't even know the proper term, but it was a beautiful room.
Sure, and you have to think about it. In the 1920s, first of all, this is a decade that we're recovering from World War I. A lot of soldiers had been overseas in Europe. They'd seen the destruction of Europe. And so by bringing some of the architectural styles of the old world back to a city like New York or Chicago or wherever, you're kind of collecting up all of the different styles of architectural antiquity, which is why you're going to have something like a Gothic chapel in here next to a Tudor style conference room, right next to a very modern style, other type of community room. So you have the emergence of kind of modern architecture at this moment in time, what we now call Art Deco, right next to all of these revival styles, because that's kind of what 1920s America was like. It was pulling from all over, and you have just kind of a wash of all different styles.
And you get that all on one floor in this particular building. You got the chapel you talked about, we're in the Florentine room here, and then the other two rooms with all these architectural styles blended together.
You got it. I mean, cities aren't built in order. So ideally, you're going to walk down a sidewalk and you're going to see a 1920s building next to a 1960s building, next to a 1980s building, next to an 1890 building.
Sure.
That's the experience of living in a city. Rarely do you see it in room after room after
room.
Right,
yeah, very unique.
Yeah.
And this is just one of many buildings you have opening up this weekend.
This is one of over 190 buildings that we have open this weekend, all for free. All over the course of 2 days, October 19th and 20th. And what we want people to do is to get out there and explore the city. Clean, easy, and simple. This is a chance to really build pride in being a Chicagoan and living in a city that has such a diversity of different types of resources, whether they're architectural or historical or cultural. A lot of the sites are places that really only folks in the neighborhood know a lot about, that if you don't live in that particular neighborhood, it might be brand new to you. At the same time, this is a really great opportunity to get out and explore the neighborhood you live in. We don't all get to spend all the time in the world walking around our own neighborhood.
Right.
And all of us miss certain important things, whether it's a church or a theater or an apartment building or a storefront. And this is a chance to kind of say, come on inside. You're welcome to come in, explore, ask questions, talk to other people who are checking out the festival. It's really all about building the community.
What's the best way for people to see the list of everything you guys have going on, the times and all that?
One really easy way. It's to download the Chicago Architecture Center app. It's going to be turned over into the Open House Chicago app during the length of the festival, but there you're going to be able to see a list of all the sites that are included, hours that they're open, activities that are happening at those sites. If you want to get a cup of coffee or take your kid to a playground while you're in that neighborhood, we have tips of where you can go for that. You can build your own itineraries. You can kind of have a working list of what you want to go see over the course of the weekend.
You guys have thought this thing through.
Yeah. We've been doing it for about 14 years. So
yeah.
It's gone from an insert in the newspaper into a dynamic app.
Well, thank you so much, Adam, for taking time to show me and to the people of this building to let me in here a little bit beforehand. And much luck and fun this weekend. That is going to be Open House Chicago 2024.
Yeah, get out there and check it out, people. It's going to be great. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I am going to wrap it up here. TomBarneyChicago@gmail.com. Stories from the 78.com. The Florentine Room, Open House Chicago this weekend. Come on by.